We were just a family of 4. We had 2 sons, and we felt like we were done having children. When the boys were 8 and 6 years old, I had a spiritual experience, a pretty powerful one, in which I was given the knowledge that there was going to be a little girl that came into our family, and that her name was going to be Ella.
So Emily came to me and said that we needed to have a little girl named Ella after an experience that she'd had, and I was 100% against it. During that week after she told me that, I worked on 3 different people's homes that had all adopted children. The third person actually ran an adoption agency, and I explained to them what had happened, and she told me it'd be the best thing that we ever did. And so that's when I decided that I don't know if I was all in, but I was willing to explore it. So the first adoption that we had lined up was a private adoption, not through an agency or through foster care. And that was something that we felt like we'd just fallen into the right place for, and that we were lucky that it was there. And then just a couple of weeks before the due date, we found out that there was a stillborn. At that point, that was pretty devastating. I didn't know exactly why we were doing this, if we were doing the right thing, putting ourselves through that kind of stress and anxiety. We received a phone call on Thanksgiving that a little girl had been born, and we needed to pick her up the next day, that the mother had failed a drug test at the hospital, and they were removing the child from her immediately. We went and picked her up and brought her home. We knew pretty quickly that there was going to be family that was going to be coming forward to adopt her.
Gracie stayed with us for 12 days. She was eventually adopted by her cousin. And from what I understand, she's in a really good situation and is doing well. When Gracie left, it was really hard for all of us. We were sad, we were disappointed. Foster care is such a mix of emotions, because especially if you're a family that wants to adopt, you are cheering on these birth parents and you want them to do well, and your goal is reunification with the birth parents. That's your official goal, that's your responsibility and your role as foster families. But on the other side of it is that you get very attached and invested in these children, and it happens really quickly. In our case, it happened really quickly. And so when they leave, it's heart-wrenching. A little bit after New Year's, we got another call. This little baby was under 4 pounds. She was 3'11". She was just teeny. She was about 4 weeks early. They asked us if we wanted to take her, and we said yes. We were so excited, and we went and met her at the hospital. She was still in the hospital. We rocked her, and I felt like she was the one. But I pushed it aside pretty quickly, because I understood what my job there was to support the birth mother. The nurse said, "Do you want to go meet her mother?" And we said, "Well, yes, we do." We met her and talked with her and learned a little bit about her. And I had this overwhelming feeling when I met her that I needed to serve and love this woman the best I could. And that was something that carried us through the next 14 months. So the caseworker decided that it was time for the trial home placement.
That day was hard. We knew it was coming, and we knew the exact time that we were going to drop her off. Both the boys had a chance that day to play with her, and got them out of school early so they could do the things with her that they normally would. Then we left that night at 7:45, and both the boys were in tears, crying, because they knew that she was their little sister, and we were taking her away. When we got to the birth mom's apartment, everything went well inside the apartment. And when we got outside the apartment, got back in the car, Emily broke down and started crying.
It was just so hard. And yet we were so proud and happy for her birth mother. It was just crazy. So we left her and went home and consoled our boys. They were heartbroken. About a week later, I got a call on a Sunday morning from her birth mother saying that she was sick. We went to the clinic, but he just said, it was just the standard, well, you have a cold, so rest and fluids, that kind of a thing. And the next day, the caseworker called me on Monday, and she said, okay, I need to hear what the story again of what exactly happened. I don't feel right about this, so I'm going to do some digging. And then the following evening on Tuesday night, she called. Birth mother had made some choices that put the trial home placement in jeopardy, and that would it be okay if they brought the baby back home, back to us within the hour? And it was a resounding yes from us. We were all so excited, and the caseworker brought her to the front door, and we opened the door, and the baby practically jumped into Logan's arms, and she just kept looking at us all and saying, hi, hi, hi.
And the caseworker said, we are done. We are moving towards adoption, and wanted both Emily and I at drug court the very next morning.
I love her kind heart. She's
always aware of everybody else around her, especially if someone is sad or hurt. She's very concerned and will go to help them.
She's very generous and very service-minded. She likes to help.
She likes to bring her dad drinks when he's watching football.
What I love about my family is my brothers play with me, and my mom cooks dinner, and my dad watches football.
Hi! Sit down, please. Sit down. Hey, what's your name?
Yaya.
That's right. How old are you?
Yaya.
No, how old are you?
Maya.
Tell mommy how old you are.
Yaya.
No, that's your name. How old are you?
I
I love you too.
love you.
2, that's right. Can you sit down? There, I can see you better if you sit down. Else, hey, will you blow kisses? Oh, thank you. You do again? Oh, that's a pretty song. Will you sing more songs? Thank you. You blow kiss? More kiss. Oh, thank you.